Filming on my old phone is really weird. I don't really know how the quality of this is gonna be once I import it onto my laptop, but I just thought that it might be a fun, quote unquote, possibly question mark, idea to do like a 23 things I learned by 23 years old. The main point of me filming this is just to show that there are some things that might take you 23 years to learn, and that's okay. Also, this is the second time I've tried to film this. The first time I tried to film this, I just could not get the correct words out, and I don't know why. I wanted to refilm it because I would rather film it twice and try to get the words that I would have rather had the second time instead of just getting it filmed just because I wanted it to be filmed and having a mess of a video and possibly not have the right words that I would have wanted to have. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully this video will be better. Yeah, that's about it. I might be shit at explaining some of these things, but the main point of me doing this was just to verbalize and vocalize that points. Maybe not to explain them, but to verbalize and vocalize the points. Okay, you get what I'm saying. Goodbye. The sun is gonna go down soon, so I'm gonna try to film this as fast as possible while still doing it to the standards that I would like to do it at. Did that make sense? I don't know, but either way. So, number one. I filmed this the one time already, so I'm hoping that I got out all the awkwardness that would come with this video and me. So let's hope for the best. Self-care is so important / take time to take care of yourself. I think that self-care is very underrated. I think a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say disregard, but for lack of a better word, disregard self-care because everyone's always so busy doing something, and I just think that the more you and see how your body reacts to you not caring for it as much as you should, I think you learn how much or how important it is to really take care of yourself and your body and all that, and make sure that you're doing what you need to do so that it gets the best treatment, if that makes any sense. Like, for me, I have really dry skin, and I don't know that if I don't moisturize it every single day, it gets fucking flaky and disgusting and stuff. And so I've learned that if I don't take care of myself / of my skin, then it'll get all dry and flaky. Okay. Number 2, don't pay attention to where other people are in life. You will get to where you need to be when the time is right. Social media has fucked us up in this way because now they're 12-year-olds becoming millionaires, and someone who is 28 might be broke as fuck, and they'll see some 12-year-old becoming a millionaire, and they'll some of them don't, but this is not an every person feels this way, but I'm just saying what I've learned and experienced. Someone might be what the fuck, I am not a millionaire and I'm way older. That it can mess with your mentality, and I think it's important to take a step back and realize that your journey is your journey, and that's your path and no one else's. Things will happen for you that are supposed to happen for you when it's time. It's so cliche, but I think it's really true. I think that good things will happen to everyone, and it might not happen when you want it to happen or when you think it's gonna happen, but it'll happen. You just have to be patient, and sometimes it'll even come when you least suspect it. But I think it's just important not to look at someone else's journey and wonder why that's not your journey, because not everyone's journey is the same, and that's okay. And it would kind of fucking suck if everyone's journey was the same, because no one would have a unique journey, and everyone would be the same, and that gets really boring, and if you had the same journey, you might not want that. Do you know what I'm saying? Basically, your specific journey is your specific journey for a reason, and things will come when they're supposed to come. And that's the beauty of it. Number 3. It's okay not to know / understand stuff. Not knowing stuff is quite literally the only way you learn stuff. And it's okay to not know things. You don't know things even when you're my age or even when you're 80. 80-year-old people are still learning things and still understanding things. Like it all comes in time, and it all comes from asking questions and asking for help and making an effort to understand things and learn things. It's okay to not know things. That's how life is supposed to be. You're not supposed to know things so that you can learn them and then know them. And then once you figure the thing out that you didn't know before, there's gonna be another thing that you have to learn, and that's how life goes, and that's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Number 4. Speaking of what I just said, it's okay to ask for help. There's no shame to asking for help. Asking for help is literally the best thing you can do for yourself. I would say don't let an experience with someone who is condescending or made you feel like shit about yourself for asking for help make you now want to ask for help, because not everyone is the same. There are millions of people who would love to help you and who would love for you to ask them for help because they want to help teach, or they want to help you understand the thing that you didn't understand. So asking for help is always something that you should do if you don't understand something that you don't understand. Number 5. Mental health and self-love are so important. I mean, I don't know if my whole entire branding has not made it obvious, but I think mental health and self-love are so important. I also want to add positivity because that's also part of my branding. But anyways, I don't think a lot of people realize how important those 3 things are to how good your life can be. Because people who have mental health issues and either don't acknowledge them or just repress them can have a pretty shitty life because they don't know how to love themselves, refuse to love themselves, put their validation in other people because they don't know how to love themselves, don't get help for their mental health issues, act like the mental health issues don't exist and blame something else, and then never really get better because they're not getting help for the right things. Like, there's so many things that mental health and self-love and positivity play into the quality of life that you live, and learning self-love is so important, and admitting that you have mental health issues and getting help for that is okay, and there's no shame to that, and it's one of the best things you can do for yourself. Like 10 out of 10 would recommend. Number 6. Don't be so hard on yourself. Chances are you're trying your best, and if that's not good enough for someone, that person / those people don't deserve your time. I feel so much for people who are trying their best. Like for me, when I was in middle school, I tried my fucking best, but I still got shitty grades. That's a whole deep story that we're not gonna get into. The point is, I tried my best, didn't do very well, and I got a lot of shit for it from a lot of different people, and it made me feel like shit. Naturally, when you're like 8 years old. But I think that when you're trying your best and people make you feel like shit for it, those people don't deserve to have a valued opinion in your life, at least for that specific thing. Basically, point being is that if you're trying your best, that's all that matters, and fuck anyone who says that you should try harder because what you're doing isn't good enough, because what you're doing is good enough. Trying your best is most important. Number 7. It's okay to talk about what you're going through. It's hard to do, but it's necessary and important for yourself to let others know that they're not alone. I have a friend who a couple months ago was telling me that she didn't want to talk to other people about what she was going through because she didn't want to be a burden or feel like a burden. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that. And I think it's important to know that if anything, it's immensely important to talk about what you're going through, because there's so many people out there who don't know that they're not alone, and if they saw that you're going through the same thing, it would make them feel a million times better. And it's a scary thing to do, 100%, and it's a hard thing to do, but it's an important thing to do, and it helps not only you but other people. And I think that if you're considering talking about what you're dealing with or what you're going through, you should, because it is a way to start a conversation about mental health or just hard times, and helping someone who is going through the same thing but also feels like they're alone. And it's just so helpful for you / anyone, because if you keep those negative feelings bottled in, then it can become very unhealthy and very toxic very fast. If you can't access a therapist, if you don't trust people, write in a journal, talk to your pet, talk to your animal, express how you feel or vocalize how you feel, anything like that, how you feel, as long as in a healthy way, because it's incredibly important for you and for others. Number 8, learn to laugh at yourself. I think learning to laugh at yourself is probably one of the best things that you can do, because it just helps create a positive atmosphere for yourself in your brain, if that makes sense. And one thing that I've learned is that you should learn to laugh at yourself, because it's an important coping mechanism to have. Number 9, sometimes you're gonna fall down and you're allowed to sulk and be sad about it, but make sure you get back up and keep trying / keep going. I keep on saying I think, obviously I think this. There's definitely a fine line between hitting an obstacle, falling down, and staying down, and hitting an obstacle, falling down, staying down there for a little bit to recover, and then getting back up. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how to cross the line between staying down and getting back up, and I think that's an important thing to learn how to do. This is not where you're gonna learn, like, this video is not where you're gonna learn how to do that. It's important to be sad about whatever happened and to express your sad, negative feelings about said situation, but after a while, if you have not gotten back up, then it gets harder and harder to get back up the longer you stay down. So you have to push yourself to get back up, and only you can do it, which sucks. But people can tell you to get back up, but it's on you. And it's a hard thing to do. It's an important thing to figure out how to do it and accomplish that. And once you accomplish it, you're gonna feel great, and you're gonna want to get back up and, ruling the world again, you know what I'm saying? Number 10, you're responsible for your own mindset and life. I didn't really know how to word it in the last video / time I attempted to film this. I'm still not sure I have the best way to verbalize it down pat, but I'm gonna try. There's a lot of things in life that you can't control, and I'm not really talking about maybe, like, I don't want to trigger anything or anyone, so I don't want to give specific examples, but there's some things you can't control, especially until you move out. And when I say you're responsible for your own life, I don't mean necessarily those things, but I mostly mean how you look at life, like finding the silver lining of some things, or creating a new mindset for yourself on your own, or trying to look at things in a positive way. That's more so what I mean. It's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to happen, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more often you're able to do it. So that's more what I mean. I guess it's kind of a touchy subject or touchy thing to say, depending on what your life situation is. I hope I verbalized that the right way. Number 11, the lessons that hurt you the most make you stronger and help you the most. I think this is a really important lesson to learn. Okay, I need to stop saying that. Lessons that hurt you can go of one of two ways. Or I guess life lessons that hurt you can go one of two ways. One is it can turn you into a super negative person and always passive aggressive. Two, you can be negative about it for a while, mend yourself, and then figure out how to turn whatever lesson or whatever happened into a positive thing. But yeah, I just think, if I say I just think one more time, fucking take a shot. It's important to take hard lessons or hard life lessons and help them make you into a better person / a more positive person. Like I said, this video is not about me verbalizing anything, but I feel like some things I need to verbalize because some things can be taken the wrong way if not explained / explained well, which I don't think I'm explaining any of this shit well. But number 12, if you want to change, make sure you're doing it for yourself and not for someone else / for society. I added this one because Facetune and magazines that Photoshop their models or people who they interview. Everyone now thinks that every model is this thing and is the waist of this, which is completely not true. And I could get into a whole video about that, but I'm not going to. That's a video for another day, possibly. But I just think that it's important to, if you're gonna make changes like with your weight or with how you look or anything like that, that you should do it only if you want to do it and not if you're trying to impress a boy or a girl or Instagram or to get views, whatever. I want to say I'm gonna stop saying I just think or I feel like, but that's probably not gonna happen. It's just important to remember that if you want to make a change to yourself or to your life, that you're doing it for you and only you and no one else, and especially not society. Number 13, if you want to lose weight, make sure you're doing it in a healthy way. Your body and how you feel daily will thank you for it. If you want to lose weight, go for it. But they initially start, or like their initial plan is to do it like in such an unhealthy way, and that's just so not the way to go about it. It just like makes me like so upset that like people are willing to do that to their bodies just to like have an end result that they can easily have with a healthy plan or a healthy lifestyle. And I could go on a whole rant about this too, but the point of this video is for me to say that within the 23 years I've lived, I've learned that if you want to lose weight, do it in a healthy way. Your body, your brain, your mindset will thank you for it, and mucho importante. Number 14, sometimes you need to take a step away from social media and be present and enjoy life. Likes and followers are not happiness and they don't matter. It's easy to get consumed in social media and what people are doing and how many likes you have. I mean, not everyone is like that, obviously. It's so important to pay attention to what's going on around you because you're never going to be able to experience those moments again, and chances are you're going to regret not paying attention to the moments that you're experiencing, but you're too wrapped up in your phone to enjoy. And I think it's important to take a moment, take a step back, and just enjoy life. It's just every now and then take a step back from social media, turn off your phone, and just be present in the moment. And those memories that you remember to be present in and take a step away from your phone usually end up being the best memories that you have in life. Number 15, learn to validate yourself. Try not to let yourself depend on others or social media for validation. You will never be happy if you do. Some people try to put their validation and worth into likes and followers and all that stuff because it's just easier for some people to do. But that all just is like satisfying when you get likes for like maybe a couple minutes, and then after that you're just right back to where you started, of feeling empty and not validated. And first of all, it's not healthy. Second of all, it's just a continuous cycle of momentary validation. You feel so much better and happy when you start validating yourself. I mean, there's gonna be days where you don't feel as good about yourself or whatever as you might other days. Self-validation and self-worth and self-love are all very important because at the end of the day, you're all you have and your brain is all you have. Having that be given to you by yourself is just so fulfilling, and it creates so much happiness for yourself. It can be incredibly hard to reach, and it's a hard path to go through, and it's a hard journey for sure, or it can be a hard journey, but I think once you reach it, it's so worth it. And even just deciding to start validating yourself and start giving yourself the self-worth or validation is awesome. Number 16. Try to be more spontaneous and let loose. You will regret the times you didn't. Being someone with a lot of anxiety, plus some anxiety built into me from my parents, I put this in because it's kind of also one that I need to remember, because I won't do a lot of things because of my anxiety, and I think a lot of people who have anxiety will agree with that, because it's fucking hard to let go sometimes, like incredibly hard to let go. But it's important that you learn to at least start trying to let go, because I know when I was like 15 through 18, 19, I was a little too spontaneous, and I let a little too loose, I want to say. But like, those were some of the funnest memories I have. I know that if I let my anxiety take full reign, I would have never experienced the things I experienced, and I'm happy that I was able to experience the things I experienced, because you never get the chances back. I think it's important to sometimes let loose and be a little more spontaneous than you usually would, because those times where you decide to do that typically make for the best memories. Number 17. Remember that everyone is human. Everyone has fears and things that make them happy and things that make them sad. You're not alone in feeling what you feel. I added that for two separate reasons. One reason is because I feel like sometimes people forget that everyone is literally just a human being. Everyone is just human, and everyone has experiences, and I meant to say fears, but also experiences. And it's important to remember that, because I'll have friends who like are gonna do a presentation and they're super nervous for it, and I'm like, just remember that everyone is human. They're just a person just like you. They're probably also scared as shit to do this presentation. Your crush is also human. No matter what happens, it's just another person. And I think it's super hard to remember that a lot of the times, but it's also super important to remember that, because sometimes we just idolize someone so much that we forget just how human they are, or someone makes us so nervous that we forget, and we think that like if they're someone we have a crush on, and that we think that if they say no it's gonna be the end of the world, when really if they say no it's like, fuck, okay, I'll be sad for a little bit, but there's a million other humans left. Do you know what I mean? The other reason why I put this in is because everyone is a human being, which means everyone has feelings. The sun is going down, so the light might get a little shit. Ooh, I'm gonna use the ring light I got. Hold the fuck on. Oh, that helped, I think. My sister got me a selfie ring light thing for Christmas, and oh wow, that is definitely helping. It's important to remember that everyone is human, because, like, say on the internet, and you're watching, like, someone on the internet, it's easy to forget that they're actually still a person, and that they have feelings, And like, you have to be mindful that people have feelings when it comes to what you say to them. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I think that's also kind of should be self-explanatory, but apparently people need reminders that you should be nice to people and remember that you don't know what they're going through, so you should not be purposefully mean, because what the fuck is the point of being purposely mean? Number 18. No one can make you feel inferior unless you allow them to. That is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt and also said in The Princess Diaries. But I love this quote because it's true as fuck and important to remember. People can say anything that they want to say to you, but it can only hurt you if you allow it to. It's really hard to not let it hurt you sometimes, but it can only affect you if you let it. It's important to not let someone's negative opinion of you affect you if you know who you are. Number 19. It's okay to complain. Fuck that, it could be worse saying your feelings are valid and real. Here's the thing. Remember this person's shitty situation when you feel bad next time. Like, just because someone went through something really shitty does not mean that you can't feel shitty about what you're going through. Like, everyone's problems and feelings are valid, and if someone's house flooded, but you got a bad grade, you can't tell someone that they're not allowed to feel shitty and upset about something just because something else on a different, that maybe happened on a different level. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I always hear people be like, well, at least this didn't happen to you. Or, like, think about this when you feel like you're having a shitty day. Like, fuck that. Feel how the fuck you want to feel and know that that's valid. Number 20. We are almost done. Working out does make you feel happier and better, but so does eating 10 cookies. Everything in moderation. I don't think I need to explain this one. Working out does make you feel better, and you know, it releases endorphins, but eating 10 cookies can make you feel pretty fucking good, and also releases endorphins, maybe not chemically, maybe chemically, I don't know. Number 21. Just because you don't look like someone who you think is attractive doesn't mean you're not attractive. I found this really good quote on the internet, and it was like, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was basically like, it's like Christmas lights don't look the same as like stars, but they're both beautiful. So basically, what I'm trying to say with that example is just because you don't look like someone who you think looks gorgeous does not mean you don't look gorgeous either, or as well. You don't have to look like someone who you think looks beautiful to look beautiful, and that's that. Number 22. Acne does not make you ugly. Acne is, first of all, something you cannot always control, so fuck people who make fun of people for acne, because that's not always in your control. And even if it was in your control, acne is still not something that makes someone ugly. It's literally normal. It happens, and that's okay. Like, sometimes even if you wash your skin a million times, use face washes, blah 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 blah, you're still gonna have acne, and that's literally okay. If you want to cover it up because that makes you feel better, that's fine. But if you don't want to also, that's fine. Acne is normal. Acne is fine to have. Acne should not be something that you get bullied for or made fun of for, because it is a normal human thing to have. And that's that on that. Number 23. You deserve all the love and affection. Give yourself the care and love that you give to the people you love. Your brain listens to what you say and think to yourself. Give it good, loving, and positive thoughts to listen to. Give yourself good, loving, and positive thoughts to listen to. I think that's pretty fucking self-explanatory. What you think about yourself, and the more you think what you think, the more it listens to, and the more regular those thoughts become. And it's also important to remember that all the love that you give to other people and all the care that you give to other people, all should be things that you give to yourself, because it's important to love yourself and care for yourself and all the things. I think that I don't really need to explain that much more. I can if I need to, but I don't think I do. So that is the 23 things I learned in 23 years. Some of them took me until the age of 23 to learn. Some of them I learned by the age of fucking 12. I don't actually know. Either way, doesn't matter. Point is, if you haven't learned some of these things or mastered some of these things, that's okay. If you want to, and if you try to, you will master them at some point. Just because I learned these things by 23 doesn't mean you will. You might learn / master these things by 15 or by 30. It just depends. It is not a bad thing either way. I hope this helps someone start the train of a new positive habit or anything like that, really. I don't have very much left to say. I hope everyone has a fun and safe New Year's. I hope everyone has a good 2020, and yeah,